Welcome to Expedient Means with Lin Aiwei and Time on Radio. Lin currently resides in China and is the founder and head teacher of Guizhou Philo-Cultural Society. He has extensive experience in Buddhist and Taoist meditation, Qigong, martial arts, and traditional Chinese medicine. To learn more about Lin, please visit his website at www.guizhenhui.net. Tonight, Lin will be discussing how to find stability within. Welcome back, Lin.
Hello. Hi there.
I think I'm at the point now where I'm dreaming about saying that intro to myself in my sleep, but in any event. So finding stability within, are you trying to say that people are generally unstable or something like that?
Hey man, it's my freedom of speech. I can say whatever I want to say. Kidding. The finding stability within. The idea is that no matter how much we feel we are at peace with the world, when someone goes and spits on your face, I'm sure that whole feeling of safety and stability leave you, and you just want to punch that person. Or all of a sudden this big economic downfall happens and we have no more money.
Well, I think
our feeling of being at peace.
I think it's almost human nature that we always want stability. We don't want things to change because change is scary, right? It's a great unknown.
I love this human nature. The excuse I've heard forever for humans on this planet. I tell you, when I
already know what you're going to say. I already know where it's coming from. These are learned behaviors, right?
Hey, we learn it from ourselves. These are conditions from ourselves. We don't want this thing to disappear. We don't want this feeling to go away. So we try to do whatever we can to keep that. Most of this comes from our own self, our own ideas of what we think should be or what we are afraid to let be. Damn, in the last...
I was just going to ask, what are we afraid of?
Well, there you go. In the last 10 years, I think I've moved more times than anyone leaves their city. In 10 years. I've moved all over the place throughout China and back and forth to America.
I'm just...
Very nice. Yeah. May the Schwartz be with you. But I've moved not because of financial reasons, okay? But the fact is that conditions change. And no matter how much you want to be nice and stable in one spot, like a mountain not bowing to the wind, it just doesn't happen that way. There's a saying in Chinese, but I'll say it in English, and I'm going to screw it up because I think I heard it about a year ago. And didn't have right after that. And it was pretty nice, but it's saying to be human is to actually move. If you take a tree, and now we can do it very easily, is taking a tree, but picking up a tree from a specific place where it grows and it flourishes very well, and putting it in any damn spot anywhere else at all, it's not certain that tree will thrive or survive. Okay, it may have time before it will die. Sometime, and where it was before, it would basically be, living a much longer life. But moving it to a place where it's just not used to at all, and the soil and whatever nutrients are there or whatnot, and it just can't take, it'll probably die. But humans, you move a human anywhere, and they can live. They can survive. They can adapt. That's the thing. Adapting. So we usually want to find that one thing that keeps us, and we don't have to struggle or try too much or do as much as we've done before, so we can have our our happiness, our stability, our not having to get up and move again, or get up and find a better job, or get up and find somebody else who's better, you know. We have that saying, the grass is greener on the other side, you know. But in Chinese, it's like you're eating a bowl of food and you're looking in the pot to see what other types of food is in there.
Yeah, it's almost like we want some type of anchor to, I guess, prevent us from being swept down the stream of life, so to speak, or stream of time, or whatever you want to call it.
Or just down the road of our own entire experiences, or all our entire causes. I mean, we want to take, but we don't want to give back, because when we give, we have to move. When we have to take, it's someone else moving, someone else doing. So basically, we all want that anchor, like you say. We want to be able to say, okay, I got this. This pays all my bills, and I don't have to do anything after that. I can just be home and relax and do all this, like we see in the movies. I used to ask this question of myself all the time, to myself actually. Watching these movies, any movie at all, since I was a child, watch a movie and I see this person has a beautiful house and they have a nice car, or they can go lounging at a coffee shop, or go traveling every which way they want to. And I would sit there and go, this can't be real. How the hell these people are living? Like, how the hell they have all this money to do all that? And I stick my head out the window and I see people with clothes they're wearing for the last 5 or 6 years. They don't have any new clothes. They'd be 6 years old, 7 years old, looking out the window going, huh? That's real? Which one is real? It has to be this one. Because I look in the movie, these people are sitting there like they don't have a care in the world. And they can leave their home whenever they want. They get in a car, go wherever they want. I don't see them spending 1 ounce of money. How the hell are they paying for anything? I was like, this is just total bullshit. I would tell myself as I would grow up. It would stick in my head. People believe this nonsense. That this is the lifestyle they need in order to be the right way, or in order to be a real lifestyle, a real person, is to make as much as you can so you can do all the things you want to do, or the things you think you should be wanting to do. And that makes you the person you see in the movies who is in the movies. Okay,
well, it's the exact opposite. I mean, they're just grasping for more, thinking that that's going to find them stability, and the more they grasp, the more sort of a burden they carry, and the less stability they actually have.
Right. My father told me this key, and it's a very key teaching. To have control, you must let go of control. So if you want stability, it doesn't mean, okay, let me quit my job. Let me go around the bank and screw it all. No, it doesn't mean that. It means let go of your wanting. Stop wanting, because we get only that.
I had a thought pop into my head, and I didn't really think about it, so I don't know where it came from. But sort of the way to find stability within is you should start by letting go of trying to grasp stability outside yourself, right?
Yes. How do we do that? I mean, we're looking for that one true love. We're looking for that one job that'll pay us the money we need to pay all our bills and to have the house we're looking for, or the apartment we want, or the car we want, or enough money to do all the things we wish to we could practically be doing. Not probably or maybe, just practically can do. That want, we will get rid of it. And we have to do that by observing. Small things, okay? Not, I want to have a glass of water because I'm really thirsty, but I'm not going to because Lynn said I have to observe that and not and not be greedy. Get the hell out of here. Drink your damn water, man. I'm talking about the bigger picture, which is the bigger picture of our materialistic views. We look outside for things that should bring us happiness, and that's superstition.
This also sort of reminds me of a quote I've heard a while ago, and it's essentially that it's sort of ironic that, like, when you practice Tai Chi Chuan, you sort of have external movement, but you have stillness inside. And when you practice sitting meditation, you can have stillness while you're trying to achieve stability or stillness within, but there's all this flux going on all around you, right?
Mm-hmm. Both reversed. That's the yin and yang. It's right there. The Tai Chi Chuan, your motion is the active aspect, obviously, but you're focused on what you're doing. That's the stable part. That's the non-moving. It's the concentration on what you're doing. You're not going, okay, now it's cloud hands, and I have to put my hand down here, and the other hand has to come up, and now I'm waving like I'm in a football stadium, waving. No, you're not doing that. You're simply just knowing that this is where the hands should be going, and you're just paying attention to what you're doing. Okay, so that's stillness. It's being mindful. It's paying attention. That's Chan. This is what I do, and that's all I'm going to do right now. I'm not going to be sitting there thinking about the coffee that I'm going to have after I, finish my waving hands in clouds technique. Okay, and when you're sitting in meditation, you're sitting either in full lotus, half lotus, or you're sitting up in a chair, and your body looks all, still like a tree. You're all nice and stable that way, but inside you're a mile a minute. Your thoughts are coming over like it's pouring outside in rain. It's pouring in your mind with these thoughts, emotions, visions, images, states. I mean, it's just nonstop, like a fish grasping for out of the water, flopping all over the place, ready to die. And our mind is like that when we sit in meditation. We don't have to, we don't have that motion anchor physically, so we can put our mind to concentrate on. We have to sit there and go, okay, now I'm left with myself. I'm left with my mind. What the hell am I doing with myself now? Oh my God. Right? And you sit there. My legs hurt. Oh, my ear itches. Oh, my butt cramping. My legs are numb. Oh my God. All this happens in our mind.
So I go ahead.
Eventually it just fades away.
I was just going to say, when you think of people that are sort of unstable, they seem like they're in a panic mode all the time, right?
Very anxious.
Yeah, anxious and panicky, and it seems like they're just all over the place, right? Scatterbrained. What would you say to those people? Get a life.
Take about 2 or 3 volumes, and we'll be able to talk. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, simply look. If the person is like that and they want to stop being like that, then there can be a conversation. But if they don't think it's a problem, talking a mile a minute, rushing through their day, they don't consider it rushing. That's their normal pace. Well, then there's not much you can say to a person like that. But let's say they're inquiring to say, look, I got this problem. I am too fast. I talk fast. I think fast. I do things fast. It has to get done fast. So we will talk. We will literally just basically say, what is it that you think you need to do? So ask yourself, what do you think you need to do? And can you do that without being the way you are? Okay, and if you say you can't, well, most likely you can. And if you say you can, then most likely it could be done really fast without being anxious fast. It could just be done. So if we're willing to just say, okay, look, I got to pay attention to this and just be mindful. This is what I do. Okay?
I don't think most people would see it like most people that are in that frame of mind wouldn't see it as a bad thing. They think, like I'm on 3 or 4 Red Bulls and I can do so much more. And, they see themselves as more productive, right?
Yeah, because they think productivity is in how much they do.
Right.
So we have this idea in society, which I think I'm going to say, quantity over quality. Mm-hmm. And that kind of drives most people to go about their lives. I must get more done, and I can be half-ass about it. It's like the people who want to study something and they only read 3 or 4 books and think they got the whole entire thing and start creating their own entire idea of maybe philosophy, or maybe they learn how to make 3 or 4 dishes from a cookbook and then they write their own cookbook on a whole bunch of other ideas they think they have because they know how to cook 3 or 4 dishes. We have the saying, I was talking about this with some people here about culture, and one thing about Chinese culture is that some people will spend well, traditionally, so most people will spend about 10, 15 to even 30 years studying something before they'll step out and start to work on their own expression. Or they will spend 30 years or so not only studying, but working on their own expression, and then finally go out there in the world and show off what they can do, but not show off egotistically, show off by, just casually just being in certain areas, doing the things that they wish to be doing. On the other hand, we have those in the West that would study maybe 2-3 years and think, okay, I'm a master at this, or I'm very proficient at it. It's it's hilarious. So then you'll have the person who does it for 40 years in America, but there is no cultivation of their humility at all. And regardless of how proficient a person is at whatever they're doing, be it painting, be it driving, be it cooking, even be it architecture, or whatever it is, people don't like an ass. They don't like, oh, this person's really skilled, but they're an asshole. Let's get somebody else. Maybe we can find somebody else. And you get the 80-year-old guy who went through the asshole stage and can fix yourself up, can fix whatever it is, or wants to help you with whatever you need help with.
Even if you look at, say, for instance, the acceptable type drugs in our Western society, right? What are the drugs that are pushed on people? Well, it's caffeine and nicotine. Mm-hmm. It's all these uppers that keep everybody in a frantic state, right?
Yeah. Caffeine brings you into an anxiety state. Nicotine would put you into a slower state. They kind of attack each other. If you're a smoker drinking coffee, you kind of have no feeling of the cigarette or the coffee anymore. It's just, I need that mix of being on the up and being on the slow end. I haven't met a person who smokes a cigarette and gets all fired up with energy, But all these things are pushed on us, and they put our emotional state, our physical and mental state, up in a whirlwind. And it's really difficult when the physical body has an imbalance, the energetic body has an imbalance, but your mind is saying, hey, you got to slow down. But then you go, but I can't, I just got to continue. So your mind has no balance because now it's arguing with itself going, I got to relax, I got to slow it down. But on the other hand, it's going, no, it has to get done, and this and that and this and that. Well, a lot of our emotional states are organ energy imbalances, our internal imbalances organ-wise. Most of them, after a while, just become, from the organ imbalance or the energetic imbalance, become our mental imbalance. So our emotion becomes our way of thinking, our thinking imbalance. And then that thinking imbalance further influences the emotional imbalance to become stronger.
Vicious cycle, so to speak.
Oh, yeah. That's why sometimes take some Chinese medicine and you can lessen the effect of certain anxiety. And then what happens is now you have to go through the habit of changing that mentally.
So okay. What sort of a segue, but what type of organ imbalances would primarily be responsible for these erratic states, or I guess could it be any of them?
One will one will affect the other. Let's just be very superficial about it and just speak very easily about it, basically. Okay. The heart center, or the heart organ, we say the heart seats the spirit. So if we're drinking a lot of coffee, we're basically causing our heart rate to beat to go up. And then that's going to influence our speech. It's going to influence our thinking. Well, it's going to influence our whole body, because once the heart starts to go up, the kidneys have to work a little bit faster to, filter up the liquid, the blood, filter the waste. So if the blood is pumping faster, the kidneys have to work more. And then we're usually breathing a little bit faster. So we have more oxygen, which is more free radicals, which is more waste in the body, which in turn can become toxic in the body if it's not filtered out fast enough. So you need more blood to be used. You need more blood to be created. You need that which helps the blood flow better in the body to work at optimal speed. But because of the caffeine, it starts to work way too much. And when the downer happens and the caffeine is wasted in the body slows down, but it doesn't slow down to its back to normal. It's slower. It's weaker because it pushed so much out. So people have this idea that whatever they take, just for that time, it affects them. And afterwards, well, they feel everything's back to normal because their blood is not, their heart rate is at a point where they don't feel physically influenced. So they don't know the symptoms. They don't know what happens afterwards. They just feel the downer of the energy. And they just think it's, oh, I'm getting a downer now. Oh, okay, I need another cup of coffee. Oh, okay, I'm all better now. And they go through 3, 4, 5, 6 cups of coffee. And they don't think there's a problem with that. And the body is strong. People think that you have to get sick in some way or another. It has to be fast or you're not going to get sick at all. But no, the body is like this gigantic nuclear reactor. How strong is this body? The body is awesome. It can take a beating for years. And also does depend on how the body was formed in the womb and the influences it had while in the womb, how it's going to maintain its physical integrity. But our mind, it's big thing. It screws us up, and our stability comes, or the sense of stability that I'm talking about basically is the idea of no worry, not worrying.
I think this kind of brings to mind a quote from the Tao Te Ching. I don't remember the exact verbiage of it, but it's like essentially that a lot of people try to find stability or achieve the Tao by acquiring more and more and more, whereas the way to actually say achieve stability or achieve the Tao is by constantly reducing and letting things go.
Yeah, and whenever you say that, it always reminds me of Master Cheng Man-Ching's quote, invest in loss.
Invest in, yes.
It is that we don't need more. We can't need more to be stable because you can't take it with you when you die, and you didn't come into this world with all this stuff. You don't need all that stuff. Whatever it is we think, if it's emotion, if it's mental, meaning we have to say things to ourselves, affirmations to make ourselves feel better about, things, whether it's material things or emotional things, we didn't come in the world with them. We came in the world with this naked body. Yes, by all means, run in the street naked, right? Not in our society today, but old times probably. We die without anything. Everything is gone. We can't take it, and we come into the world with nothing. So, well, with nothing materialistic like what we acquire. So why would we want to acquire more? Not just physically, not just materialistically, but mentally and emotionally. You don't need those things. We're taught to believe we need those things because we experience them and other people experience something similar. So we find something similar like that and think, oh, if people experience those things, well then, whatever I'm experiencing must be the right way too. So I must maintain this way. We put our faith in emptiness, which is not the good type of emptiness. We put ourselves in the superficiality. We put ourselves in believing and trying to grasp at bubbles, clouds in the sky, and just disappear. Anytime they want, they come and go. And we grasp at those things, and we can never be satisfied by them.
What are your thoughts on, it seems like there's a lot of people that desire stability within society and stability within, like, say, political stability. Is that sort of born out of fear, or do you think it's something else?
Usually, one is a politician. I'm not a politician, so I wouldn't know their state, but I can state that wanting to hold on to something is the means to lose it. So holding on to a political position, because there's a holding on to, that means there is something that's causing you to not be able to maintain. That itself is your downfall. So there will always be mistakes made because we believe we will not have. So we try to do things to have. So that politician who's sitting there going, I better get my votes up, I better start doing things or I'm going to get kicked out of office. Well, what the hell you need to be in office? Why do you need to get your votes up? Probably because you weren't doing your job. So obviously, it's your own problem, and you getting kicked out of office. In Chinese, you say "huogai" means good for you. That's your problem. Deal with it. And how do most people deal with it? They try to pay off other people so they can stay in office, or they show up in the middle of the street, in the middle of the community, doing these nice events and things for the people to get their votes. And that is not good. It may be good for your political position, but that's just not good at overall. If I even say moral and ethics, then people are going to be like, but that's up for interpretation. So I'm just going to say, just being a decent human being, no, it don't work. And if you think politicians can't be decent human beings, well then, why are people voting for these people? It's simple. Why? If that's just a game of politics, then why does it affect you? Why does their game affect you? Because you let them affect you. Because you give power to that whole entire entity.
And again, like these people, some of these politicians or groups or whatever that try and hold on too tight, and they, beat people up and, whatever, right? Like it almost always has the opposite effect, like you just said.
Well, yeah, if a person feels they're losing votes, or a person feels they need to get votes, what the hell are you not doing?
Right.
It's not about giving people an event once in a while and making them feel happy or telling them some good words. It's about actually doing stuff. You don't have to try hard to do good things. You have to really bust your butt when you do bad things. You have to cover up.
I was going to say, I almost think if they spend half the effort they did on trying to hide the bad things on good things, they wouldn't have any bad things to hide.
There you go. It's just a simple mathematics, and I suck at math, but this is simple for me, And what we're talking about here, if people can actually hear what we're talking about, not just the wording and the idea, but literally the whole method, is simply that. You don't need all this stuff. You don't need all the things you give yourself, be it emotion, be it mental, be it physical. You don't need all that stuff. And it goes to any level of society, any person in any level of society. Why do that? Why? Why go after things that are just not necessary for you? Because you believe them necessary? Then ask your question. Ask this question. Who told you this is that way? Who told you it is necessary? Why do you... Yeah. Because that's what is around in the world. Well, who's told those people it's necessary? I mean, how is it true that you want to accept what other people assume is right? Why? That's not stable at all. That's just riding on a hope and a prayer. You're praying that this is going to be right. You have hope. I hope this is good. Please help me be stable. Help this and help that. No. What are you doing to make things that way? Simple.
So what should people do to kind of develop what kind of I guess we always come to this, but what practices and I know what you're going to say, but go ahead.
I'm going to not say it. I'm just going to say I'm going to say the practices that help us change this or develop true stability is sit in meditation. Sit and realize how much effort you need to actually be calm. That you can ask yourself when you're not sitting in meditation to say, how much effort am I doing to make myself crazy, make myself anxious, to make myself be stressful, to give myself the experiences of people that I most usually and generally would not want in my life. How much energy am I giving to those things? I could have said mindfulness, but then, whatever.
would have been 4,001 times, and the count was pretty high.
Yes. But basically, it's just, observe yourself and say, hey, why do I let myself do these things? Why? And keep asking why until you can't find any more answer, and then just let it all go. Just say, forget it. I can't deal with this anymore. I don't want these same things to happen again. If I'm going out buying all these pairs of shoes or buying all these sunglasses every frigging weekend or something like that, why? Because there's a lack. There's a lacking in your own entire mind.
Well, once you reach 54 pairs of sunglasses, I think you actually find stability in your sunglass needs. Just kidding. But that's just human nature, right? We always think that the more external things we accumulate, the more, and it's a delusion, right? It's a delusional state. The more we have,
the more we have, the better we feel. The more stable we feel, meaning the more safe we feel. It doesn't be that way, because if you need to have in order to be safe, then the reliance is on something that can be taken away. So that's not true safety. That's not true stability. That is not true care. True stability, true care is when nothing can take away from you. That doesn't mean hire bodyguards. It doesn't mean invest in better types of prospects. It means don't put things outward, put things inward. Meditate. Bring your light inward. Bring your focus. Bring your energy that goes out through your senses, through the 6 senses, because I throw the mind in there. All that energy that's expended, put it back in. How do we do that? Meditate. Why is it necessary? Because it doesn't make you waste yourself. It helps you to change your own life when you meditate. It's just that powerful. And if people sit there thinking it's so simple, well, then you're only going to get the simple outcomes. You're not going to get more profound outcomes. But the simple outcomes look profound because you don't have any other types of experience with this ever.
Here's kind of a little bit of a curveball, not a bad one, but would you say the more you help others, the more stable you yourself are going to feel?
Well, there's 2 ways to go with this. If we ourselves are a little off the wall or emotionally and mentally, doesn't mean we're crazy, just a little, anxious. And you want to help other people not be anxious. It's kind of not going to work. But then again, it's like what we always say. We come back to when questions like this are asked. It's like the clay bodhisattva who still has not reached a certain higher level of refinement, was trying to carry other people over to the other shore, and while they're carrying people on their shoulders, they themselves are melting in the water. They themselves are falling apart. It's a nice deed, but why not get yourself good to go first? It's okay to be that selfish when you find yourself being a little bit well off, at peace. Then what you say would have more merit than not. It can be those ways. You can try to help other people while you're falling, and perhaps one day somebody may turn around and give that help to you. Perhaps. It may not be so. It may be so. Or you can just get yourself up and cultivate well, work yourself well, and then you can help other people and be even stronger.
All right. Well, why don't we end it on that note, Lynn, I guess.
Okay.
Unless you have anything further you wanted to add.
I have 5 million other things I want to add.
5 encyclopedia volumes full.
That's right.
Unfortunately, I was looking up quotes for stability, and 99.9% of them were all about political stability and political leaders talking about their. So I'm just not even going to bother with it.
Man.
So anyway, thanks again, Lynn, and thanks to our listeners. And please be sure to join us next week as we discuss eliminating stubbornness.
Yes, we are continuing the series on the Noble Way.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks, Lynn.
Thank you.